Good afternoon on the 23rd day of June 24. I didn't realise it was quite so breezy out, but I'm heading to the gardens, so we might not be able to talk quite so well without distortion. But what I stopped the car here for is I wanted to show you this. It's not much off it, but this is the extremity of the Highland fault line. It's most southerly point, and over at Bennybeg where they do the rock climbing stuff, you know, the practice for rock climbing, a bit taller than this right enough, but it's exactly the same volcanic rock, and so that's geology for you. And so it's an interesting formation, and I thought I'd just let you see that. But we'll go along to the gardens, Annie, and we'll have a chat and see what's what. See if Lady Willoughby's can remember me from the dinner parties. But, we'll go along anyway. I'm not sure what the costs are nowadays. I haven't been here since I took my girlfriend back in... which one was it? I've been there since, no, I've been here since, but I was here in 1987, I think it was, or 88. Yes, 88, any. So we'll have a trips along, as they say. So here we are, part of Drummond Castle that we all recognise. And well, if you know what to look for, we'll go through the archway and make ourselves known, Annie. Of course, where are we, Annie? Look at this, this is beautiful land, isn't it? And we've got the Drummond coat of arms floating in the wind up there in the flagpole. This is the ancient seat. Of course, Rob Roy was filmed here, and just recently Christian Dior had every model from all around the world, these skinny malinkies with their tartan-clad outfits. I have to say, some of the designs were absolutely spiffing, but I've always reluctant to agree with these catwalk shows wherever they come, whether it's Paris or New York or Milan or Tokyo, whatever, because some of the clothes on display, well, you're never going to buy these. Well, one thing, you won't be able to afford them, but secondly, they're so outrageous, most people would walk down into B&M wearing some of these outfits, or the Co-op. And you might go into Fulton and Mason in Piccadilly. Let's go in, Annie. We'll see how long it takes to go around. It's a £10 entrance fee. I don't mind, but I want to make sure that I'm not kicked out halfway through my tour. So this is part of the Grand's house. I'm actually paid my entrance fee and I just come through, and I've got recollections of all this anyway, but isn't it fantastic? It really is. And southeast Strathallan heading out that way. Yes, I remember this very well, Andrew. And the wind is not blowing around too much, so it's actually quite good. Wow, isn't that stunning? Absolutely stunning, Annie. I mean, imagine looking out onto that every morning at your breakfast table. Now, quite cleverly, in order to stop the models all tumbling down all these steps, because there are a considerable number of them, what they did is, my understanding at least, is they asked the models not to stare ahead, you're looking for cameras or indeed any onlookers, but to specifically keep their eyes on the steps as they went down. And what they did was then they cleverly edited everything. I don't know how they've done it, but it all looks like the models are all heading down the steps with their chins up, you see. It's on YouTube. Just Christian Dior, Crieff, a couple of weeks ago. I mean, you couldn't get any access to any of these country roads. Of course, being me, I came along and I was going on to the gardens, and the girl in the gate, she started to go through her list. I said, I won't be on your list. And she said, what is your name? And I just told her. And she says, I can't find you on the list. I says, no, I said that, I wouldn't be on the list. And she says, well, I can't let you in. I says, I know. Isn't this wonderful? And you look at Drummond Castle, what a perfect building this is. It really is, it's absolutely wonderful. The roses have gone back slightly here because of the heat. And but there's still plenty to come, look. Not as pretty as the roses I got in Spitalfield yesterday. Oh, I travelled through and I spotted this lovely garden in Spitalfield and I couldn't resist it. So I said to the cafe owner, I'm going along to that lady's garden and I'm going to take some photographs. Do you think she'd mind? She said, no, she'd probably be there anyway. But unfortunately she wasn't, because I was going to compliment her. But the gardens are absolutely stunning, I have to say. I'm not sure if this camera does everything justice. It's very typical of this camera. But I mean, look at the lavender beds down there. I think we'll head down there, Hendy. I mean, this is very Victorian to have all the separate beds, all with the colour schemes exactly as the gardener wants, or perhaps her ladyship wants. You see all the roses, all the same colour, and all the lavender beds, the pink roses, and the little privet hedge all trimmed. We'll go down this way. We've taken a left first and we'll take a left second. And of course, Drummond Castle, I know the man. I'm not going to give his name, but I was at school with his daughter. But he actually collected weather data for the area and sent it to the Met Office before digitalisation. And everything's stunning. It's quite busy too, but not overly busy, I have to tell you, because I've come at the right time, I think, because well, as the lady in the shop says, she says, well, if you can come for a day and take picnics and stuff and stay around if you want, but I says, well, I might just do that one day, but today I'm just going to have a mosey. I've got an hour. And it's a nice way to spend an afternoon rather than zipping around in the car. Actually, Andy, what we'll do, we will go down the main steps. And it's gravel, you know, when you get gravel which is spotless like this, not a weed in sight, I mean, it really warms your heart. It's when you see gravel, when it's got, you know, dandelions poking their nose through, and buttercup, couch grass and everything all unattended to. Look, I mean, I could sit, in fact, I am going to sit, just for a moment, to gaze south. It really is absolutely stunning. I'm afraid Abercairn Gardens don't match it, but that's not a slight on Abercairn. They do a really good job, and of course their positioning in Strathallan is not quite so good as far as, well, not so much for the sunshine, but more the fact that there's so many mature trees in the first place. These castle gardens were specifically designed as ornamental gardens. Can you not speak properly today, Annie? Well, I'm trying, sir. Do a little bit better for the viewers, please. So I've just noticed in the passing here that we've got fuchsias all stacked up together, which is pretty grand. And I'm actually I'm not referring to anything here, not at this stage, but I will for some of the historical points, particularly the sundial, which I'm sort of travelling towards. Well, I did say we would go to the lavender bed first of all, so that's exactly what we'll do. I mean, look at the grass, isn't that perfect? I mean, that's what I call a perfect lawn. All right, Sonny's been walking across it today, which is. I was brought up still within the era. I remember McCrosty Park used to have signs that said "Keep off the grass," and you know that 100% of the people that passed those signs obeyed it, and no one walked on the grass. Changed days. The "Keep off the grass" signage would probably be tossed aside and broken in half by some scallywags. Look at these roses, Andy. I'm afraid my agility to bend over and sniff these ones are just beyond reach, I'm afraid. I just couldn't manage it. I'm not a gymnast. Look at the foliage on these, this particular tree. I wonder what that is. I must find out from my in fact, what I'll do, Andy, so I'm not we'll point at this one, and when I get home, when I'm doing the edit, I'll see if it's on the list. But here's the lavender, Annie. We said we'd get here. A little scrunch of the gravel below the feet. I love that sound. Yes. It's interesting to have this for the postman. Scrunch, 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 scrunch. Every single morning he came up to my property with a package. Or postcards from Seychelles or something like that. But you can see how delightful and what imagination the gardener has, and what imagination God has to produce, to allow us to plant up such beautiful flowers in the first place. I mean, this is. Let's go. I think I spied poppies over there. Hold on. No, they're not poppies, Annie. They're geraniums. And like a lot of the geraniums this season, they've struggled a little bit. These ones are very tired looking. They're gone a bit yellow. But geranium is quite a sturdy plant, and it normally recovers on its own devices, you know. This is old geranium here. Let's head over to the sundial, please, Andrew. There's a great shot of Drummond Castle. And I don't know where the croquet lawn is, but I'd like a game of croquet with a couple of earls, a viscount, and perhaps a dame. Yes, a dame.